So, is Mudclaw Satan? Specifically, the fallen angel Satan?
By the time of Firestar's quest, which takes place after the darkest hour and before midnight, Mudclaw is already listed as WindClan's deputy. By midnight, Crowpaw is still an apprentice, and Deadfoot is in StarClan. Hypothetically, if he ever became leader himself and became Deadstar, that'd be the coolest leader name ever. Mudstar is cool enough too, I guess, but Deadstar is really just sick. Deadfoot dies somewhere here in the timeline. That means Tallstar chose Mudclaw pretty soon afterwards, but the actual appointment, the turning point that made Mudclaw the rightful heir in the eyes of the clans, is never dramatized. It just feels weird to me, or maybe at least a missed opportunity. I know the manga or the graphic novel, all of One Star's books, the Dark Tale narrative, WindClan has been given the spotlight over the years. That just seemed to be a cool what if, or a cool missed point for easy drama. We could have seen Tallstar falter on his ideals a little bit, that maybe Onewhisker wasn't ready, or maybe Onewhisker didn't want it, and he is, because of Tiger Star, Broken Star, and the recent BloodClan battle, he kind of goes all in on a more militant and aggressive cat. The Warriors website does confirm that.
The Mudclaw Rebellion becomes sort of the catalyst, the main kickoff for WindClan becoming relevant. Mudclaw was the de facto shot caller throughout Dawn. He is WindClan's deputy, and he has just led his cats through the great journey. He had helped carry the clan through the aftermath of exile, through the Tiger Clan crisis, and through the instability of the Warring Forest era. Those old school guys fought over everything. He fought in the BloodClan period, and he was actually the one to retrieve to ask for Firestar's help when Tiger Star was attacking. He had visible authority, real seniority, and he was mentioned just enough to always remind you that there were WindClan cats beyond Onewhisker. Tallstar's decision to name Onewhisker at the very end cuts against the public logic of clan succession. That was bound to at least stir the pot. He had the presence and the acceptance of the cats. To a lot of WindClan cats, he probably looked like the natural continuation. Even Barkface hints that Mudclaw should prepare himself for leadership in Starlight. I would say this is where Mudclaw is at his most sympathetic, even before the rebellion. And I'm not saying he's as bad as Tiger Claw, but this is a cat who is scraping for a fight. The books repeatedly show us who he is. He is proud, defensive, territorial, and very quick to escalate. In Rising Storm, he denies passage to Highstones, to Bluestar and Fireheart, and nearly helps trigger open conflict in a dangerous path, to the point that Onewhisker has to physically restrain him in front of Tallstar and Bluestar. While he is noble and on the right side of Lion Clan in the darkest hour, Midnight and Moonrise, once again, he's just being a bully. He gets into a scuffle with Graystripe once again, while the leaders, Firestar and Tallstar, are trying to negotiate. Graystripe does start it, but Mudclaw still escalates instead of cooling it off. He leads an overly hostile patrol in the same book against Leafpool and Sorreltail. He bullies Leafpaw and then has to get checked by Mothwing when she intervenes. It's funny how the narrative keeps bringing him into interactions with Tiger Claw and Tiger Claw's kids. Hawkfrost, the moment he enters the story for Mudclaw on Mudclaw's side of things. Up to this point, Hawkfrost is already an ambitious RiverClan climber. He had served as temporary deputy when Mistyfoot was captured, but that position was unstable and temporary. He's also Tiger Star's son, which should be setting off every alarm bell in Mudclaw's head, that this is a cat from another clan, from a dangerous bloodline that he has had personal contact. Now, Mudclaw does not see Hawkfrost as that yet, but the fact that he's even taking an outsider's opinion and allowing that to inflame his personal ambition and kind of damages one of the more legitimate claims of his argument that Firestar is overly involved in WindClan affairs. Now, we know the direction that the clans are heading. Arcs later, or 4 arcs later, we know that inclusivity and progressiveness are the ways of the future for the clans, but at the time, they don't know that. They're in a weird state of transition. This is the new Lake territories as far as some of the more radical cats are concerned. This is maybe the time to test power plays. Mudclaw's rebellion, I think, continues to fascinate the Warriors fandom, and I think haunt WindClan for a variety of reasons. It was because no one really won. Mudclaw had the rank, the resume, and the legitimate grievance, and he completely shot that in the foot the moment he turned to RiverClan for assistance. One Star had Tallstar's final blessing, but as we later learn, he never had the temperament nor the actual character to assume leadership and not just completely also heel turn and go in the exact opposite of what was intended. Thankfully, Hairstar is so chill and so just willing to go along with whatever